Happy Monday morning, everybody. All right, so for today, fifth grade mathematicians, we are going to do a little bit of a review. We're going to back up a little bit because I noticed some people were having trouble changing an improper fraction into a mixed number. So I want to go back and review that, and then I'm going to take it a step further later on in the week. So everybody remembers that a fraction is part of a whole. We know that it represents part of a whole thing or part of several things. Okay, we remember that, but we tend to forget that it also represents a division problem. Okay, so it's the same thing as saying, like 12/3 is the same thing as saying 12 divided by 3. So we tend to forget that. So I want to go back through and I want to refresh your memory about these, and then we're going to do some together, and then I'm going to have you practice a few on your own. All right? So let's get started. So like I was saying, 12/3 is the same as saying 12 divided by 3. Well, we know that that's a basic fact. Something times 3 equals 12. And I'm thinking about this fact family, and I know that 4 3's equal 12. So 12 divided by 3 is 4 with no remainder. So that means that this is not a mixed number. This is a whole number, okay? A whole number answer. So 16/4 is the same thing as saying 16 divided by 4. Well, 16 divided by 4 is a basic fact. I know that there's another number I can multiply times 4 to get 16. So that's part of a fact family. So that would be 4. Again, it's a whole number. There's no remainder with that. Now, when we go down here, 15 halves. 15 divided by 2. Well, right away, I know from my divisibility rules that since 15 is an odd number, it's not going to evenly go into 2. So 15 divided by 2, there will be a remainder. So I can rewrite this 15 divided by 2 this way. So I've got to find something times 2 that gets me as close to 15 as I can without going over. Remember we talked about the Price is Right, that yodeler, you have to guess without going over or you lose, all right? So here, if you go over, you've got the wrong answer. So in essence, you kind of lose. All right, so I know that 7 times 2 is 14. 8 times 2 is 16. That's going over. The yodeler would go over the mountain. All right, so this would be 7. All right, 7 times 2 I know is 14. When I subtract that, I have 1 left over, and then I could write that as remainder 1, but here I want to write it in fraction form. So this is going to become my numerator, and what I divide it by is going to be my denominator. So 7.5. So here I've got a mixed number, okay? So hopefully this is refreshing your memory. All right, 21 divided by 4. Well, what do I know about division? I know that if I have an even number and that I cannot divide evenly an odd number by the even number. This is odd, this is even, so I'm going to have a remainder. 21, whoops, I'm going to scoot this over. 21 divided by 4. All right, I got to find a number without going over. Find a number I can multiply. Well, 4 times 4 is 16. I think I can do better than that. 5 times 4 is 20. 6 times 4 is 24. So I've got to stick with my 5. So see how I use my basic facts to figure it out? All right, 5 times 4 is 20. 21 minus 20 is 1. There's my numerator. Here's my denominator. So this would be 5 1/4. Okay? So hopefully that refreshes your memory of how to use fractions to represent a division problem. Using it that way will help you to turn it into either a whole number or a mixed number, all right? So right now you should have, and I'm going to erase this so that I have more room. I'm probably going to leave part of this up, and I'm going to tape my paper up, and then I'm going to zoom in so that you can see my paper a little bit better, if I can find my tape. So I need you to be getting your paper out. It says improper fraction to mixed number fraction. Okay, and it looks like this. And it starts out by saying 17/9. All right. So I'm going to zoom in on that paper. I might even move my camera up. Sorry, I don't have a cameraman. I'm the cameraman and everything here. All right. So we're going to pay close attention to the first 5 today. All right. So I already have this written out. I've got 17 divided by 9. And I could even write it out 17 divided by 9. Now, remember, I can't go over. So 2 would go over because 2 times 9 is 18. So it's only going to be 1. And I've got my 9 there. All right. So 17 minus 9 is 8. So remember, that's going to be my numerator. And then 9ths would be my denominator. See, that's what they have right there. So what I did was I just proved this answer. Okay? All right. So let's try with 71/8. So we've got 71 divided by 8. Now, I know 9 times 8 is 72, but that goes over. Remember the yodeler? We went over. We lost. So it has to be 8. 8 times 8 is 64. All right. So now we've got 11 minus 4 is 7. 6 minus 6 is 0. So I've got 7 here, 7 left over, which is my remainder if I were writing it with remainders. I'm not. I want to write it as a mixed number. So 7 is going to be my numerator. 8, which is what I divided by, will be my denominator. 8 7/8. I hope this is looking more familiar to you. So here we have 41/6, which is the same thing as saying 41 divided by 6. 41 divided by 6. Now I know 7 times 6 is 42, but we're playing the yodeling game. Whoop, we went over the mountain. Okay, too far. So 6 would have to be the number. All right. So now I have 41 minus 36, which is going to give me 5. That's my numerator. And then what I divide by is going to be my denominator. 6 5/6. So I could write these over here. I haven't been writing them here so that you can see them a little bit better. All right. So number 3, I've got 16/7. So when I write that out, I've got 16/7. Well, let me see. When I'm counting by 7s, 7, 14, 21. 21's too far. 14. So how many 7s does that give me? That gives me 2. 2 7s. That gives me 2 left over. That would be my remainder. I don't want to write a remainder. So what would be my remainder is going to be my numerator. What I divide by is my denominator. 2 2 7. All right, number 4. So I've got 23/4. So I've got 23 divided by 4. Well, when I count by 4s, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. 24 goes too far. Got to go back 4. So that would be 20. That would be 5 4s. 23 minus 20 would give me 3. That would be my remainder if I were writing remainders. Since I'm not, that's my numerator, 5 and 3, and then what I divide by is my denominator, 5 3/4. All right, number 5, 81/10. So I've got 81 divided by 10. Well, when I count by 10s, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 goes too far. I've got to back up. That would be 8 10s, which would be 80. That would give me 1 left over. Normally, if I was writing a remainder, 1 would be my remainder. I'm not. I want to write it in fraction form. So 1's my numerator, tenths would be my denominator. 8 and 1/10. All right, so here's what I want you to do this evening. I want you to work on problems 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, I just have 5 problems for you to do. Bring them back. We will work on those 5, and we'll do the rest of this page. If you have any questions, please email me. Hopefully this is a good review for you, because later on we're going to be using mixed numbers. We're going to transpose them into improper fractions, multiply, and then go back into a mixed number. So you have to know how to transpose these back and forth. So this is very important for you to pay attention to. Please email me if you don't understand. I am here for you, I promise. All right, happy Monday, and may the 4th be with you.